Good. Y'all got to smile a little more. Got to get this crowd to smile a little more. It's good to be back. Looking at it, it's Georgia week. And excited about the opportunity to play Georgia. Our football team is coming off a tough loss to Western Kentucky, but excited about where these guys are. This football team showed a lot of promise. We had some opportunities. We have to be opportunistic. Talking to our guys, they understand what's in front of them. And that's the most important thing. We've made the corrections. We've talked about what we need to do to be better. And now it's just about the work. We've had 2 great days of work. And this football team's excited about taking on a top 10 team. And when you talk about Georgia, you talk about a well-coached Georgia team with Coach Rick. Extremely good coach. Good man, good coach, with good players. You had a chance to see Georgia versus ULM last week. They have maybe the best trio of running backs in the country in terms of what they do, how they play. Quarterback, Grayson Lambert, played along with the backup quarterback. Backup quarterback was good as well. I like their skill on both sides of the ball. Well-coached defense, extremely gifted offense, good on special teams. But again, I feel like our football team played a good Western Kentucky team, and now what we have to do is turn our focus towards Georgia, and let's get ready to play a great game. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Derek, you said make corrections. We see 2 interceptions. We see maybe 2 blown coverages. Were there a lot of corrections, or just those few that we see?
Enough corrections for us to clean it up. We want turnovers. We want touchdowns. So with that, we're always going to strive to be better and work towards the things that make us better.
How does your offensive line grade out, and who graded out as your best player there?
We didn't play well enough to win, so I'm not looking at grades all across the board. I just look at wins and losses, and I talk to our football team about straight in the finish, needing to be better. They understand we don't play for stats, we don't play for game grades. We play to win. So with that.
Is it safe to say that obviously the left side of the line, there's some experience there, that the left side was maybe stronger than the right side, and if so, does that just make sense based on experience?
I thought they played well. When you look at our offense moved the ball. Other than putting it in the end zone, scoring in the red zone, they played well. They kept Johnny upright. Johnny had some opportunities. So for us, let's keep this thing about Georgia. Let's move on.
Your defense has success against a really good passing team. You're now facing maybe the best running back in the country. Does success in the first one translate at all to success in the second one, or those 2 different animals, those offenses?
2 totally different animals. You're talking about a team who's built to run, can throw the football, the run sets up the pass, and we still have to be good. I said last week, and I'll say it every week, we have to continue to work hard to stop the run. You got to make teams one-dimensional, or as one-dimensional as you can make them. And for us this week, it's a great challenge. We welcome the challenge. This defense is going to work to get better. We're challenged with playing, again, one of the top offenses in the country. And it's going to be a great test for us. So I'm excited. Our guys are excited. We've had 2 great days of practice, so let's go.
There, do you see Darius Sims maybe taking on an increased role in your offense at some point?
Yeah. Darius has done a good job. I believe the opportunities that are there for him, we're going to get him touches, whenever we can. But with that, we're going to stick to our game plan, continue to make sure that we move the ball around, find ways to get guys like Darius, Trent, and those guys to football, and we're going to keep this thing moving forward.
I was going to say, you had a lot of different guys catch passes in that game. What does that say about, I guess, Johnny's ability to sort of see the whole field and understand the offense at this point?
We had 9 different receivers touch the ball, or 9 different guys touch the ball. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for spacing, just in terms of number of touches. You're looking for his ability to make sure that he gets the ball to the open guy. And for us, that means that we're moving the chains. So we just have to continue to allow Johnny, to be accurate, to be consistent, and get him in the flow of the game. And I thought towards the end of the game, you saw some nice things from him. So we just got to continue to keep moving the ball around, get it to our playmakers, and find ways to manufacture points.
How much does that present challenges to defenses now, looking at you saying, okay, there's not a guy that we can count on second down and whatever to do this?
That's exactly what it does for you. It gives you balance, to what you do. It makes it hard just to key on Ralph Webb. for the run game in the box. We understand that guys can't make plays. Tight ends need to show up for us, and let's give those guys some more targets and opportunities to keep the ball moving. But as I see it, I think Andy's doing a terrific job of just making sure that we've got great spacing in our offense. Our quarterbacks are going through the read progressions, or our quarterback's going through the read progression, and we just got to make sure we deliver.
Do you feel like you need more production out of that second tailback spot? And if so, is Josh Crawford a guy that we might see this week?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think right now, Ralph's running well. He could have used a couple more touches, but here's what I see. I see the balance, and for us, the opportunities are going to present themselves. We ran the ball pretty efficiently, on Thursday, and what we need to continue to do is make sure that we feature Ralph. Dallas is going to do a good job. His opportunities are there, and when he has the opportunity, he just needs to make sure that he makes it count. But I feel good about our running back situation right now, real good.
How does a guy like Nick Chubb, when everybody in the stadium knows this is the guy that's going to get X number of carries and get the ball, still have success and still put up yards when he's so obviously the guy?
He's a good running back. We've seen good running backs before. A year ago, you're talking about Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon lined up. Everybody knew Melvin Gordon was getting the football, but you still got to stop him. And with him, he's got great vision. He's got great power. He's the prototypical back. He's got great size. He's powerful. He runs with great vision. And more than anything else, he breaks tackles. When you see him, he's got great long speed. And I like what he is. He's a true tailback. He can do it all. He can run between the tackles. He can get on the perimeter. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I like what he is. So
they're trying to neutralize that.
tackle.
Easier said than done, though.
It's easier said than done, but it's going to come down to tackling. For us, when you look at football, football's a game of running, hitting, and tackling, and that's what we got to be able to do. If we don't tackle him, then we're just like everybody else. So at the end of the day, our emphasis is on being able to make sure that we focus on tackling the running back, getting this quarterback in some long yard situations and having a chance to get off the field.
Derek, Georgia's got a little maybe uncertainty at quarterback. They went with Lambert, but they played another guy too. He only threw, I think, 15 balls.
Right.
How do you size up what they did? How do you prepare for them? Do you even go back to Virginia to look at his film?
I tell you what I do. I look at them running the football. Everything stems from the run game, and from the quarterback position, we just have to make sure that we continue to be good in our zones, be good in our man coverages, and give this quarterback tight windows. In the end, you got to be able to control the run game and have an opportunity to rush the passer. So Georgia's done a really good job over the last 2 years protecting their quarterbacks and making sure that they stay balanced. The thing that we have to do, Coach Schottenheimer's the new coordinator there at Georgia, coming from the NFL. He's got great schemes. He does a great job of moving it around. We definitely expect to see a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, creating matchups, trying to catch us in man coverage. So we're gonna have to be good just in terms of our run fits, our ability to transition from run to pass, and really just making sure that we get them behind the chains when the opportunity presents itself.
You guys showed a lot of looks, and they can present some challenges the Western could. Were you pleased at how you guys transitioned from play to play? It seemed like other than that one blown coverage, you did a fairly good job of that.
Our guys were fairly consistent just in terms of getting lined up and making sure that we had good communication. Again, I thought we tackled well for the better part of that game, and I think what we need to do in this game is much the same. It still comes back to tackling. The opportunities to get guys on the ground, because when you look at this football team, their running backs last week, I think they rushed for like 283 yards. But if you look at yards after contact was almost close to 120 yards. So the emphasis has to be on gang tackling and getting ass to the ball.
When you talk about the opportunities that are still there this season, what do you talk about in terms of the SEC and the division? Do you talk title? Are you just talking Georgia right now? What's your approach there?
I'm talking Georgia. I'm talking one day at a time, one game at a time. This football team is still a young football team, and in that, you had an opportunity last week to see what this football team can be capable of. But with that, from game 1 to game 2, what you need to see is that 7 to 10% of growth that occurs. Okay, this football team is more than capable of grabbing that 7 to 10%, but for us, we can't talk about it. We just got to continue to do the work. And I believe right now, these guys are all about the work. They understand that Georgia's coming in here. They want to play against. That's why you play in this conference. You play in this conference to play against the teams that are quote unquote big time teams. And in this, what you're seeing is a top 10 team. Okay, coming here to Nashville. Vanderbilt's always been able to compete with Georgia, especially coming in here. You look at the game 2 years ago, 37 or 31-27. Great ball game. And what it comes down to is that somebody's going to have to win the game, late in the fourth quarter, in between the trenches, to make sure that they can secure a win. And that's what we're talking about right now. All we're talking about is trying to put ourselves in position to win this ball game. Our football team, man, is not going to bow down to anybody. We may be young, but this team's got fight, and this team's willing to compete. Okay, and right now they're in a great spot. So we're just going to continue to work hard to be better.
With Georgia, Leonard Floyd for them on defense, they kind of move him around a lot. How dangerous and how crucial is it to keep an eye on him for the offense?
They have to know where he is, but for us, we still have to be able to run our offense. We're not going to move our offense around to find him. Now, it may be different in long yardage situations, but for the most part, what you're going to see is our offense looking to stay on schedule like most offenses do. And if there's a time where they need to, adjust to any type of looks or pass rush, they'll be prepared.
What are your conversations like with Johnny, you and Coach Ledwood, just about making good decisions in the red zone and taking care of the football?
Just that, making good decisions. So, Johnny's even keeled. You talk to him after the game. He's even keeled about what he's doing. We want him to be better. He wants to be better. He looked at the film. He saw the things that we saw, and now what we need to do is just continue to make sure that practice makes perfect for game day.
You're obviously eager for the next game, and you said we don't bow down to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that mentality, how confident or what tells you that your players have that mentality?
The way we compete. Listen, you look at the outcome's not what you want, but the effort was there, and that's how this team's gonna have to grow. We're gonna have to grow through learning some lessons, but by the same token, not making the same mistakes from game to game. And these guys, the last 2 days of practice for us have been really good, and that's what you want. You want a team to bounce back. The opportunity's there. It's a long season, but this is a marathon, and we just got to continue to take it one day at a time, one practice at a time.
We've now seen what a Derek Mason coach defense with Vanderbilt personnel looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you've kind of shown that to Georgia now, or is there more layers to what your defense will be?
A lot of layers. You got to be a chameleon in this. You got to adapt and adjust every week, and so that's what we're doing.
One more question?
Coach, what other adjustments can your offense make in the red zone to be able to put up more points?
Be efficient. The plays were there, the opportunities were there. We just got to make the plays. And you saw the execution, late in the ball game, and we were able to put it in. So it's just about making sure that you make the plays that are there to be made.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.